This day, 80 years ago, the first atomic bomb exploded over the city of Hiroshima, killing 80,000 people in an instant. A horror that is barely imaginable. We meet here today to remember those who gave their lives that day, to remember those who have lived with the suffering and pain of that horror for 80 years since then, and to remember the fearless testimony that they have given to the appalling impact of nuclear weapons and their work for peace since then. We also meet to affirm our determination that such things can never happen again.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the government of Japan, I wish to express my most sincere gratitude to the Irish Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament for organizing Hiroshima Day, an opportunity for people in Ireland to offer their thought and prayers to all affected by the nuclear bombing of Hiroshima. I would like to conclude now with an excerpt from a poem by Seamus Heaney. History says, "Don't hope on this side of grave, but then, once in a lifetime, the longed-for tidal wave of justice can rise up, and hope and history rhyme."
We must listen to the eyewitness accounts, the survivors of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, because it is like a warning to us. It's a pleading to us, never again should this horror visit another human being. No justification. And 8 years on, we remember them today, and we honour their death, their pain, their suffering. The survivor called the Hibakusha, they still, even though they're all very elderly, they are committed for 8 decades to speak out for sanity, to speak out for peace, for non-proliferation, for an end to nuclear weapons and strategies. And given current tensions around our globe, which show us every day that nuclear escalation is not a relic of the Cold War, but an increasing clear and present danger. And the Hibakusha, by their speaking out and giving witness, they have become for all of us encouraging teachers towards finding our courage, towards leading us to conviction. They are our teachers of care, of love, and of compassion, encouraging us all, inspiring us today on the 6th of August to take up the struggle for peace and nuclear disarmament, ensuring that the horrors that they witnessed will never happen again.
With one bomb, my beloved city was obliterated. Most of its residents were civilians who were incinerated, vaporized, carbonized. Among them, members of my own family and 351 of my schoolmates. In the weeks, months and years that followed, many thousand more would die, often in random and mysterious ways, from the delayed effects of radiation. Still, to this date, radiation is killing survivors.
All the houses along the path down to the foot of the mountain were burnt to the ground, and corpses lay scattered around them. Many people who were badly injured or burned, but still alive, were left unattended, with no help whatsoever. I became almost devoid of emotion, somehow closing off my sense of humanity. Thus, one single atomic bomb transformed 5 of my relatives, so mercilessly, taking all of their lives in one fell swoop. The deaths I witnessed at that time could hardly be described as human deaths. There were hundreds of people suffering in agony, unable to receive any kind of medical attention. I strongly felt that even in war, such killing and maiming must never be allowed to happen.
I think this is a very sombre day. We're remembering the suffering, the agony that the people of Hiroshima went through 80 years ago. The one thing, as a kind of a lay person, like I wasn't around then obviously, But this is something that should never happen again. And with all the modern politics that's going on in the world and the threats about Russia and America, we have to be so careful. If any of these weapons ever fall into the wrong hands, we're in big trouble. Hopefully with the people around here, me today, we can move on, but we don't need these weapons. We can have our arguments, we can have our fights, but we can certainly take the nuclear threat away from that. That is a threat that is unsustainable and very dangerous. Let the world move on to be a better place to live, to work, grow old and rear families without the threat of that.
Why must you suffer like this? For what reason? You, girls, don't know how desperate your condition, how far you have been transformed from the human. You are simply thinking of those who, until this morning, were your fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters. Would any of them know you now? And of the homes in which you slept, woke, ate? In that instant, the blossoms in the hedge were torn off. Now even their ashes are not to be found. Thinking, as you lie there among friends, who, one after the other, stop moving, thinking of what you are, girls, human beings. Thank you. Thank you very much.
At this memorial, here in our capital city of Dublin, let us learn and let us renew our commitment to peace and disarmament. Let that be the best way to honour the people who died, to honour the survivors, the Hibakusha. Let us pledge to them to continue to work and promote world peace and disarmament. And you know something? Future generations, our children and our children's children, will thank us in so doing. For today, my friends, by being here, we refuse to forget. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, they're not historic events. They are a warning. Let us listen and let us act. And let us together say loudly and clearly on this anniversary day, no to war, no to nuclear weapons, and yes to peace, and yes to disarmament. And today, if somebody is to ask us which side are we on, well, we answer resoundingly that we are together on the side of peace and say no more Hiroshima and no more Nagasaki.
We shall overcome.